amigos, comenzamos ahora con este tour que es el segundo piso, se llama. El segundo es en las escaleras, arriba de las escaleras. Así que acompáñenme.
Alrighty, folks, on behalf of California. He played the Phantom Jewel Thief in the original Pink Panther. And some other guests include Winston Churchill stayed right here in this cottage in September 1929 with his son, his brother, and his nephew. One more guest you may recognize the name would be Herman Mankiewicz, his wife Sarah.
En este cañón francés, y que muchos pies son franceses.
Licensed architect here in the state of California. She grew up in Oakland, the Bay Area. She knew all about the dangers of fires and earthquakes. And that's why steel reinforced concrete is her primary building material. Look over here, see those lines that go up the sides of the building? That's from the pouring of concrete into wooden forms that they were making from California.
Algo que se les comento es que todas las piezas son piezas españolas, son francesas, unas italianas.
Come on in, everyone. Oh, folks, we want to make sure we stay on the tour mats here, just the blue and gray. Thank you. There we go. Come on in, folks. Alrighty, everyone, so welcome on into the first bedroom of the Doge Suites. If you look above you, this is an 18 painted by Ettore Cerberoli, a classically trained Italian muralist who did quite a bit of this type of work. Now, W.R. Hearst wasn't always just inviting up the Hollywood crowd as his guests. So oftentimes he invited up members of his own newspaper staff, which is how he made his personal fortune. At 24 years old, he took over the San Francisco Examiner. It was pretty much the beginning of his media empire.
El siguiente cuarto, el segundo piso. Wow.
The ceiling that we have in this room, folks, is believed to be an 18th century Dutch ceiling. We don't know exactly, but the center portion here is Annunciation. It shows the Annunciation on the shepherds. Wrapping around on the borders there,
Si no podemos pasar de
above
aquí,
me, the woman with the three children is patient.
esta línea así, la alfombra.
Blindfold, the sword, the scales.
No puedo pisar más allá.
There, that is blind justice. The name of the Doge Suites is the Doge was a ruler.
Esa es la sala de estar. Y allá se ve una cancha de tenis que tienen allá a fondo. Así que estos jarros. El mármol.
I'll save that one for a little bit later on in the tour, though. Kind of give you folks a bit of a reveal towards the end. W.R. he considered himself a dipsomaniac when it came to collecting. Well, that's like a drunkard dipping their cup into a vat of wine. We see a little bit of differentiation of just the Italian themes throughout here as well. The silver wall hangings, the sconces, these are journeyed from the 17th century, done in a repoussé style. And that means that all the silver, the detail in that silver, was really hammered from the inside out. Then if you look to the left of the fireplace, along these chest of drawers, the sculptures that are made into these lamps. Now, the sculptures themselves are Chinese, and they come from the Qing dynasty of about the 18th century. And these ones are carved at a jade. I don't know what since WR likes to collect, maybe that's why he threw some of these rather expansive parties up here. I feel like he liked to collect interesting people just for a weekend or so. After Cary Grant visited here over 40 times, he was a man after my own heart in the aspect that he would request to stay in a new room each time he came up here. You know, wanted a different view, different experience. I'm fairly certain Mr. Grant stayed here in the Doges, but I really stayed up in one of these cloister bedrooms that we're heading up to next. This is also where some of the operators lived in. Which bedroom Cary Grant was in? Or we'll have the windows open, we can kind of stick our heads in.
Tienen perfumes.
And imagine him or some of the 30s, 40s actor kind of kicking back their feet up on the bed.
Se le cayó
Start heading out. I do want to point out one more little fun fact.
la nariz a ese.
It's a fun rule of thumb up here that if something looks like it's gold, most likely it is.
Es una pieza italiana con... Está cubierta de oro, bañada de oro esta. Chequen el océano. Ahí estamos en el final del planeta, ¿no? Las gárgolas. Wow. Vamos al tercer piso. Me parece que tengo tanto estos niveles Bueno, acá se ve más rústico, ¿no? Sí que hay vista aquí. Ahí es el océano, como estaba muy alto, hay mucha neblina aquí.
Probably not so much for most. Originally up here, the windows was completely open.
Ahora vamos a la librería. Aquí. Esta es la librería.
Albert A. Newton's guest, he said this was not necessarily the library and book collection, but rather that of country gentlemen. And here we have many books in art.
Una lámpara de niña.
Books that playwright Motley A. There's even a book called All About Dogs. Discovery Artist Dachshunds up here. I mentioned some love book. I didn't know that later on. Look around these antique Greek vases. Again, this is just a fraction of what he had up here during his day. The oldest one that we have, to my knowledge, is going to be in this back corner over here, that funerary 2,400 years ago as a Greek funerary basis, if you will.
Yeah, piezas egipcias.
We're down to Neptune Pool. WR was went through his wife Millicent. Married
Ya está un libro.
It was between 1904 and 1915 that the 5 sons were born. By the time 1926 rolled around, though, he and his wife had grown incompatible. They separately got divorced. That's the year that he began opening.
¿Conocer algún libro? A ver.
She was a silent film star who transitioned quite well into topics. Considering that she was a
Pues,
stud.
¿quiénes quieren
Maybe
América?
his lifelong girlfriend and companion, often acting as a hostess up here. After a while, she started bringing her nephew Charlie Letter up here to visit her. And he worked in Hollywood himself. He was a screenwriter and a director. And he liked to bring up his friend Harpo Marx of the comedic. What he was doing though is he's editing his newspapers in here, as he had his various first publications. He had about 28 throughout his career, and he'd have his papers lined up on the floor, circling this table before they went out for the morning ocean. he'd be walking around in a military fashion, and his grandson, John Jr., worked on the nickname of Bunkies, that they use a red crayon to make corrections. Either he actually had an article that he didn't enjoy, or maybe having to circle an arrow John to move it to a different portion of the page. Once he was finished editing, he used a teletype system that had sent out to the various Hearst publishers throughout the country. Right on the other side of the wall there.
Este era el internet de antes de todos estos libros. Con todos los temas, filósofos, literatura de todo el mundo. Este era el internet de antes. Este era el Google de los ricos antes. Quedamos al otro. Entramos por aquí. Vamos a ver. A mí se pone a trabajar. Y por aquí viene por otro lado. Este está reconstruido por seguridad. Algo más para arriba. ¿Dónde sentí? Bien, esto. Ok, todo el armario. Es el baño. Qué bonito está. Mira el techo.
Alrighty, folks. Now the ceiling that's here in William Randolph Hearst bedroom is believed to be the oldest one that's on this hilltop. Excuse me. This is from about the 14th century. It's a Spanish mudéjar ceiling. Mudéjar means it's a fusion between Christian and Moorish art.
Los gráficos que tienen como árabes. Vamos a ir al siguiente cuarto, que son los de los niños, pues, infantiles, como planchaban antes. El otro cuarto, con su baño, y ya tienen garrafones. Eso fue el siglo. Porque vamos a bajar.
Watch your step as we're coming down here, folks. There's a little bit of step. And this is really how they go to the top side of the
Las cenizas, cenicero. Wow. Este todo está muy chévere.
going to be the lower staff duplex. Now, originally this was a light well, and so what that would be, it'd be an unfurnished shaft, no roof above us. Right now, we're actually on the other side of those second Doja Suite bedrooms.
Yo pensé que le decían castillo y dije, no, creo que están exagerando porque así en las fotos parece nomás una mansión, ¿no? Realmente ya cuando llegas y empiezas a ver cómo está hecho, tiene mucho arte, mucho diseño, ¿no? Muy impresionante, la verdad, y cosas totalmente históricas y de colección, ¿no? El arquitecta no se escatimó y se miró mucho, ¿no? Más dice bajo donde estamos ahorita y en esa recámara de ahí. Bueno, terminamos el segundo tour del upstairs y estuvo muy bonito, ¿no? Muy padre también. Espero que les guste, espero que les esté gustando el tour este. Está muy largo, la verdad, pero realmente vale la pena. Así que nos vemos en el siguiente video con el tercer tour, porque son 4. Yo había dicho que eran 3, pero no son 4. Así que llevamos el segundo y vamos por el tercero ya.
La gorrita pa' adelante, Versailles los lentes.